Welcome to Yoga with Lynn this morning. As ever, you practice yoga at your own risk, so pay attention to how you feel in whatever we do and make any adjustments to any posture that doesn't feel quite right for you. And if it doesn't feel good, then leave it out, take a rest anytime. We're going to start lying down on the floor. So find yourself in a comfortable lying down position on your back. And take a moment just to find that comfy position. Know you can move whenever you need to. And once you feel settled, take your attention to your breath. So just let it be, but observe what it wants to do, what it does. Imagine there's a balloon in your tummy and it's just soft and collapsed, but as you breathe in, that balloon is going to inflate. So breathe in slowly, you're in control of your breath. Make it slow, but make it comfortable. Don't become tense by breathing too slowly or too deeply. You can adjust that breath whenever you want to, but every time you breathe in, your balloon expands. And every time you breathe out, it softens back down. And it's just in your tummy. Your full attention on watching your balloon expand as you breathe in, stretching your tummy as it expands and then softening back down as you breathe out. Such a vivid image of the balloon that maybe you can even see the colour of the balloon, watching it expand, watching it soften back down. And all that going on just in your tummy, so your shoulders can relax, your face has no expression, your arms and your legs just resting comfortably on the floor with no effort. Slow but comfortable pace of breathing. And then there's a second balloon in your rib cage. So now your first balloon is going to stay soft the next time you breathe out with it. And when you breathe in the next time, the balloon in your rib cage is the one that expands. So it softens as you breathe out, expands again as you breathe in. See how big it wants to expand and give it all the time that it needs to do that and to soften as well. So they're two separate balloons. We're going to do them alternately. So currently you're inflating the one in your rib cage, but when you next exhale and that one softens, let it stay soft, and then the balloon in your tummy expands with your next breath. So one tummy, one chest, one tummy, one chest. But take your time. So stay with that alternating breath. Listen to what the final rhythm is, the final pattern is. Just join in when you feel that you're happy, you know it. So it's going to be the next time, or when you choose to do it, it's going to be a full breath in through your tummy balloon. And when your tummy balloon is fully expanded, then you're going to expand your rib cage balloon. When that one's fully expanded, they're both fully expanded, you slowly let them both go down. So it's a full inhale through your tummy balloon. Leave it inflated, breathe in through your chest balloon. When they're both fully inflated, slowly release them both. Stay with that breath, and we're going to move the arms in that usual pattern just beyond your head in time with that breath. So start by bringing your arms by your sides. Don't rush to start. You're going to start with your tummy inflating first. Your arms come up to point up to the ceiling by the time your tummy's inflated, and then as your rib cage balloon is inflating, your arms go beyond your head. And as your arms come down, everything releases back. So 2 parts to the breath in, and your arms match the speed of those 2 parts. And make this one your final one. When your arms land by your sides, just let yourself breathe completely naturally. No balloons. And stretch your legs out if they're bent. Bring your legs together. Push your heels away, pull your toes up towards your face. Reach your arms up to the ceiling, interlock your fingers, and then you turn your palms up to the ceiling. Then reach your arms beyond your head, just as far as they want to go, but stretch them long, stretch your elbows straight. Push your heels away, push your palms away, and then spread your toes wide. Relax your feet, release your hands, bring your arms back down by your sides. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat, and then bring your knees onto your chest. Hold around your knees, have a rock side to side. And then come to rest at the centre. Bring your knees all the way over to one side. Come up to standing when you're ready. Don't rush to get up though. Take your time. And we're standing in mountain pose. So standing tall, finding your full height. Feet on the feet with your toes pointing forwards, either together or a little bit apart, whatever feels right for you. But a good firm footprint on the floor, feeling the whole of the underside of both feet. And then as if there's a thin line through the centre of your body vertically, lift it up. Lift everything that touches that thin line in the centre up. But it's only touching the very centre line, so everything around those sort of wider parts of you can relax. So your shoulders are completely relaxed and heavy, your arms feel heavy. Your lower front ribs just feel heavy. Keep lifting through the centre line though. And lift the arms up to the ceiling. So bring them in as close as they can, keeping them straight. And then take them slightly back. The upper arms move back towards the wall behind. It's quite a strong feeling if you keep your elbows straight. Look up between your hands, reach your arms back and wide. You lift the centre of your chest. And then look forwards, reach up. And a forward fold. Bend your knees, fingertips onto the mat. Let your head and neck hang. And you can have as much bend in your knees as you want, but if your knees want to go wide out to the side, take your feet a little wider to keep your knees more or less in line with your feet. So right leg is going to step all the way back to a lunge. And then lift your chest and look forwards. Left foot steps back to down face dog. So what do your hands feel like on the mat? What handprint are they making? Can it be an even handprint? Tummy button to spine. Slide forwards to plank. Feel how your back body suddenly tightens. And then place your knees gently on the floor. Elbows stay as narrow in as they are, so close in by the sides of your body. You roll smoothly down onto the floor. Keep your shoulders rolled away from your ears. Lift your chest. And then look back down at the floor, push up to hands and knees, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, down face dog. You can step your feet to the place where they're most comfortable every time we come into down face dog. You want your feet about hip distance apart, and you want to be close to getting your heels to the floor, but not quite able to. And then you can bend one knee, stretch the back of the other leg. Swap over legs. So a smooth stretch of each leg one at a time. And then stretch both legs. Take your weight on your left foot, look between your hands, step your right foot through to a lunge. And then step your left foot forwards, forward fold again. So feet can be apart if your knees want to go apart. Relax your shoulders, your head and neck. A deep bend of your knees, so your hips come down close towards the floor, and then lift your shoulders. So you've got a bit of a back bend, but then you only have to straighten your legs to come all the way up. Reach as high as you can again, but this time bring your palms together. Slide your hands down. So still that vertical line through you, lifting you up, but letting everything else hang heavy. And then lift your arms again. So straight arms, easing towards your ears, easing towards the wall behind. Look up, reach back and wide. Stretch your fingers out to the back corners of the ceiling some more. Stretch your feet back down to the floor. And then look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. Left leg back to a lunge. Lifting your chest. Lovely. Right foot back, down face dog. So again, have a feel of what your hands want to do in down face dog. Maybe they want to cup, like lift up in the centre, as if there's a sort of vacuum there. Push down, make them flat. Toe button to spine. Slide forwards to plank. Hold it steady. And if it feels strong, keep it lifted there with your knees lifted. Otherwise, you can place your knees back down on the floor if you care to. From there, smooth lower down onto your front. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And look back down. Push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Down face dog. So step your feet where they need to be. Tummy button to spine. Find that same grip of your hands. Are they cupping again? And if they're cupping, press down. It's probably the base of the first finger that's lifting off the floor the most. So press the base of your first finger down. Lovely. And then with your weight on your right foot, look between your hands. And then step your left foot through to a lunge. Step the right foot forwards, forward fold. And coming up the same way, a deep bend of both knees. And then lift your shoulders. Straighten your legs. Palms come together at the top, reaching tall through your centre line, and then slide your palms down. Start with a breath in here. And a breath out. And then as you breathe in, lift your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So find your best down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Firm down through your hands. Flatten your hands, that means. Make a print. Be aware of the print that your hands are making. Be aware of the print that your feet are making, whatever part of your feet are on the floor. And lift your hips a little bit higher. It's like with that groundedness, you've got the ability to lift. But once you lift, repress down. And once you repress down, lift your hips again. So through that cycle, pressing down with your hands and feet, lifting up with your hips, pressing down again. And then weight on your left foot, look between your hands. Take a breath in as your right foot steps through. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Palms together at the top. Exhale, palms down. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, lift up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So your same good solid position. Tummy button to spine. And then cycling through those two things again. So hands and feet push down. Imagine the print that they're making, and then let your hips try to lift up away from that groundedness. And as your hips lift up, feel how you've ungrounded very slightly, so refirm your hand and footprints. Lifting and pressing down. Lovely, looking good. Weight on your right foot. Lift between your hands and a breath in to step your left foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Palms together at the top. Exhale, palms slide down. Breath in here and a breath out. And then you can step your feet a little bit apart, rest your arms, but stand still. Just let the chatter in your body subside. If anything feels like it does need a shake, you can give it a shake, but very often it just disappears anyway. So stepping your feet back to whatever your starting position for feet is. So together or a little bit apart, but toes pointing forwards. We're going to take a balance on lifting one knee. So if you want to move off your mat, you can. If you've got solid floor underneath it, makes it a little bit easier. If you want to have something to hold on to, have it by your right side to start, and we'll pick up the left leg. So have it just here, somewhere like that. But find your same mountain pose, Tadasana, standing tall, because when we lift a leg up, the rest of the body can stay in this position. It's that vertical line lifting through you, but shoulders and arms heavy, front ribs, sort of lower front ribs, allowing to sink to the floor. So pick up the left knee, hold either in front or underneath, and take the right arm out to the side. That's where you've got a bit of support if you need it. So find that vertical line again. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, take the left knee out to the left. Nothing else moves, it's just that leg that rotates around. It's as if your left knee and your right fingers are as far away from each other as they can be. And if your balance feels steady there and you want to challenge, you can turn your head and look over your right fingers. If you turned your gaze, slowly bring it back. Bring your knee back to the centre line. Hold it there. Stretch out the left arm. And then place your foot on the floor, arms by your sides. Full height, and then pick up the right knee. Oh, sorry. So sorry. If you need your support, have it on the left side this time. So turn around or move to where you've got that if you need it. So picking up your right knee, holding in front or on top. Stretching out the left arm. So find your full height. Often, because we've lifted up a leg, we've become asymmetrical. So you might have swung your left hip out to the left a little bit. Maybe tuck it in, make it to the centre line. It lets you feel a bit taller. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, just your right leg moves, opening out to the side like the page of a book. You're still at your tallest. So you can stay here, or you can slowly move your gaze to look out over your left fingers. And if you turned your gaze, bring it back. Bring your leg to the centre. So know you're going to hold it there. See if you can keep it lifted that high as you stretch your right arm out. Nice. And then foot to the floor. Arms by your sides. We're going to take a lie down on our backs. So find a comfy position on your back. You have a few moments to rest before we move. So be comfy, close your eyes. Take your attention to your breath though. Maybe take the opportunity to feel the balloons again, the balloon in your tummy, the balloon in your chest, whichever of the options feels comfortable for you to breathe with. And take a bit of work for our core. So back to natural breathing. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat, and take your arms wide out to the side. Palms face up. Both knees up onto your chest. And squeeze your legs together. So your knees are together, your ankles are together. Keep them together as much as you can. They might move apart, but if you notice that, then squeeze them in again. And also bring your knees as close towards your chest as you can. It's like your knees are coming in so much that your tailbone is almost starting to peel up away from the floor, like rounding the back. So we're going to take the knees from side to side with the breath. We'll do a practice round first so you know what's going on, and then we'll take a few together. So it's going to be a breath in here. And then as you exhale, you're going to take both legs over towards your right upper arm. So keep them together, keep them hoisted high as, up towards your armpit as much as you can. They're not going to touch the floor, they're going to hover there as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, you bring them back to the centre. Keep your knees tucked as close to your chest as you can, that's quite tough. A breath in at the centre. And then as you breathe out, both legs go over towards the left. You're lifting them up as if you're trying to tuck your knees up to your armpits. You hover there as you breathe in, and then you come back to the centre. So you can place the feet down on the floor for a moment. The more you tuck your knees into your chest, the more you're making your abdominal muscles work and your back muscles not have to work. And we want to use the abdominal muscles for this. So the more tucked in, the better. And also if you've got any discomfort in your lower back from doing this, see if you can tuck your knees in some more, because that's going to take the strain off your back. But if your back doesn't feel comfy doing this, then don't do it. Rest your feet on the floor instead. The further over you go to each side, the more strength you need to hold it and to come back. So that's your choice how far you go. You're going to do 3 to each side, so you can play around, go different distance with each one if you want to. Yes, and so feet and knees together and knees as high to your chest, even side to side, you're keeping them tucked up as much as you can. So going with the breath. If you don't care for my timing of breath, go with your own, do 3 to each side and then finish with your feet on the ground. So arms out to the side, knees to chest. Remember they're squeezed together like they're just one leg. And you're pulling them in so much that your tailbone is almost lifting up off the floor. Breath in here. As you exhale, take them over to the right, keep them together, keep them lifted. Inhale to hover wherever you are. Exhale back to the centre. Keep them together, keep them lifted. Breath in at the centre. Exhale over to the left. Inhale to hover there, maybe even tucking the milk up as you hover. Exhale back to the centre. So we only move on the breath out. Breath in to stay here. Exhale to the right. Inhale, hover them there. Exhale back to the centre. One leg. Breath in at the centre. Exhale over to the left. What I meant is both legs are squeezed together so they're like one leg. Inhale to hover. Exhale back to the centre. Breath in. One more to each side. Exhale right. Inhale hover. Exhale centre. Inhale here. Exhale legs left. Inhale to hover and tuck in. Exhale back to the centre. And once you're on your back, relax your feet down onto the floor. Stretch your legs out. Bring your arms down to a more comfy position. That's the front body worked. Going to work the back as well with bridge pose. So bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. Have them nice and close in towards your heels, so your shins feel vertical. Feet hip distance apart and toes just very slightly turned in. Arms by your side, palm face down. If anyone's got a block underneath the back of their head, just make sure you slide it away for bridge pose. You can have it back after. So ground down through your feet, your hands, the whole length of your arms, your shoulders, and then press down through that whole framework, lift your hips away from the floor. So that's your whole frame, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your feet. If you press into that, your hips will lift. And you can keep your arms there if you want to. Or you can interlock your hands behind your back, squeeze your elbows closer together, and then one shoulder at a time, just tuck your upper arm under. So the outside edges of your upper arms are down towards the floor. So you've got a good firm leverage down through your upper arms. You've still got that pressure down through your feet. It's like your armpits are heavy and dropping towards the floor, but the centre of your chest is floating up to the ceiling. And keeping that feeling in your upper body, press down with your feet, lift your hips some more. Heavy armpits, light centre of your chest, firm feet. One more breath there, big press down through your framework. And then if your hands are locked together, unlink them, take your arms as wide as the mat, and then think about your hips, pull them strongly but slowly towards your heels, and let the whole width of your back roll down onto the floor. If it feels tight, just take your time, make it as slow as you need it to be. And it doesn't matter if you need more time, but when you're done, then bring your knees onto your chest and hands around your knees. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, bring your forehead up towards your knees. And roll your upper back and the back of your head back down to the floor. Once it's landed, have a rock side to side. And come to rest at the centre. Feet on the floor, You can roll to one side, bring yourself up to standing. Again, there's no rush. We're going to be standing with the facing the long edge of the mat. Well, not for our first standing posture, but if you can have your mat that way, turn your mat that way. If you can't, that's fine. A little bit taller. So you don't have to stand that way for the first posture. We're going to do a side stretch to start with feet hip distance apart. So it's like you've got a wall behind you and you're not leaning on it, but you can feel the wall on the whole length of your body. So the back of your head, the backs of your shoulders, your back ribs, your hips, even maybe your heels. And keep that touch as you lean over to the right. So you just slide down the wall. So really feel it as you go down. And once you've gone a good way, then let your right arm dangle. Feel balanced between your 2 feet. Don't take it all onto the right foot. The body needs just a moment to acclimatise. Feels a little bit tight when you first move over, but then it's got more curve that it can make. So we're going to take that extra bit. You're going to take your left hand on the back of your head, as if your left arm is touching your wall as well. And then stretch your left elbow right up towards the ceiling. Push your left foot firmly down in the floor. So you've got the biggest stretch you can find on the left side of your body. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, soften the right side of your body. Just let yourself hang in your curve a bit more. So breath in, stretch the left side, elbow up, foot down. Exhale, soften the right side. One more breath here. So breath in, stretch the left. Exhale, soften the right. And then as you breathe in, bring yourself back to the center, back to straight up. And then let your arm come down by your side. So wall behind you. Slide down your wall to the left. Equal weight on both feet. Let your left arm just hang. Your left shoulder relaxed. And then right hand onto the back of your head. So the outside edge of your right arm is touching your wall as well. Feel the stretch on your right side. Feel how you can exaggerate that stretch by pressing your right foot down, lifting your right elbow up. Take a breath in with your best stretch. And then as you exhale, relax your left side. See how the left side collapses a little bit more. Breath in, right side stretch. Exhale, left side relaxes. One more breath into the right side. And a breath out to the left. And then a breath in to come back up. And rest your arm by your side. So turn to the long edge of your mat. We're going to take second warrior. So feet are going to come wide apart. And hands on hips. Left leg turns in, right leg turns all the way out. And then your torso turns as much as you can to the centre. Second warrior is a nice posture for if you've got your screen in front of you and you can see yourself. It is really good to see that you've got your legs turned out, but your torso is to the front. And really important that your spine is vertical. So I'm going to think about this left leg. That's going to be the strength of our posture. So really grip down with the foot and squeeze the thigh. Take a breath in. Keep holding that back leg. And as you exhale, just slowly bend your right knee. Point your knee in the same direction as your right toes. Keep this left leg working. Let the left leg work. It's almost like you're relaxing down onto this leg. or the strength of this leg is letting you relax down a little bit. Have a quick look at your right leg. You can use the screen if you want to. Make sure that your knee is above your ankle or slightly behind. Pointing in the same direction, turn to the front, stretch your arms wide. So it's very easy to forget about the left leg. Grip the foot to the floor, squeeze the left thigh. So everything about this pose today is about the left leg. Take a breath in, tighten it some more, and then as you exhale, use the tightness in it just to let yourself sink away from it. So breath in, retighten, grip the outside of the left foot to the floor. Exhale, sink down on it. One more breath in, tighten that leg some more. Exhale, final sink. Beautiful. And then a breath in to come up. Hands on hips. Both feet face the front. And then right leg turns in, left leg turns out. Torso to the front, like your tummy button, the beam, laser beam coming out of your tummy button is trying to go straight ahead. So what can you feel of the right foot on the floor? Can you feel the outside of the foot pressing into the floor? And then a squeeze of your thigh. It's not like you have to straighten the leg completely, because for some of us, when you straighten the leg, it over straightens and it's tight on the knee. So think more about tightening the front of the thigh and gripping into the foot. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, bend the left knee. Make your check of that left leg. So knee above ankle, knee pointing in the same direction as your toes. Turn to the front as much as you can, stretch your arms. Check that your spine's straight. So the 3 breaths in are all about the back leg. Breath in to tighten it. And then exhale, just sinking down away from that tight leg. It's like you're pulling away from it. Breath in again. Exhale, sink. Breath in. Exhale, sink. Lovely. Breath in to come up. Hands on hips. Toes to the front. And then heel your toe, your feet, or step your feet to hip distance apart. So forward fold. A breath in to lift your chest. And then a breath out to hinge at your hips. So keep your feet firmly planted on the floor. You're sending your hips almost back in order to tilt them. And when you can't tilt any further, you take a bend of your knees. And then relax your whole upper body. Just let it go to gravity. Let it relax over your thighs. Let your head hang. Release your hands from your hips. Take a hold of the opposite elbow with each hand. So stay exactly where you are. Make sure your feet feel firm on the floor. They might want to roll onto their edges. Keep them flat on the floor. A nice square footprint. And it's like your upper body is water cascading over your thighs. It's that soft. Feel how you can sway very slightly forwards and back. Find the best place for you. The place where you balance, where you're not having to grip with your toes or grip with your heels. Release your elbows, let your hands drop down. And then tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin in, roll yourself back up to standing. We're going to take another lie down on the floor. So lie yourself on your back once again and come back to whatever balloon breathing pattern feels nice for you. Reach your arms beyond your head. Bring your legs together. Take a big stretch. And then release. Bring your arms back down by your sides. We're going to rock or roll or wherever you want to get up to sitting. So bend your knees. Find your own way to sit up. And you'll need to find a block. If you haven't got a block, a cushion will do. Firm as you can if you use a cushion, because these are pretty firm. They don't give much. But have something ready for the next few postures. And you're just going to put it on the floor somewhere behind you. We'll come to that in a minute. So bend your knees. Take your feet comfortably apart. Take your hands on your hips. On the floor behind you. Take your hands on the floor behind you. So feet so wide apart, knees so wide apart that you can just allow your knees to drop from side to side for a moment, just to get a movement in your hips. So both going over to the right, both going over to the left. So come back to the centre. The next posture, if it doesn't suit your knees, then you're just going to lift your arms up to the ceiling here. You might want to take your legs further away to get a bit of arch of your back, but that's what you're going to do if your knees don't like the next thing that we do, because I'm not sure if they will, Paddy. So hands behind, knees nicely bent, and you're just going to take both knees over to the left. So take them so far over to the left that they come onto the floor. So you'll be turning pretty much towards the short end of your mat as you do that. And your left hand is going flat on the floor behind you. You can't see where it is, but mine is flat on the floor just to my left side. That's it. So turn towards your left knee. Lean onto your left hand. And you're going to push into your left hand so strongly that you can lift your hips up off the floor and extend your right arm away. That's it, perfect. Yes, everyone's got it, lovely. So push into the floor as much as you can to lift your hips, almost pushing your hips away from your hands. And with your right arm, stretch as much as you can. And you can play around with what position feels good. You can even sort of roll your right armpit and your chest a bit to the ceiling if that feels good, or not. But as much stretch on your right side as you can find. And then ease your left hip back down to the floor. So keep your legs where they are when you come back down to the floor. This left leg, so there will be options for this, but this left leg tucks right in, and your right leg, the back leg, is going to come all the way over and across the thigh, like a twist position. So if you do that, you will want to have a block to slip underneath your hips. You can even take your back heel underneath your right buttock as well. I find that quite comfy. So sitting as tall as you can. If that's not right for you, then stretch out your left leg. So Ed, you might want to stretch out your left leg. Simon, you can't because you've got no space. Lovely. So your option is this, with your left leg stretched and your right leg crossed over, or to bend your left knee and be sitting, or you can sit on a block whether you've got your leg stretched or not. So you're going to take your left hand on your right knee to guide it towards your left armpit. So it's not going to hang out to the side, it's going to be drawn inwards. And your right arm comes down onto the floor. If you can't reach the floor, take your hand behind the back of your waist. So you're going to lift up tall as you breathe in, relaxing your shoulders. And then as you exhale, turn into your twist. You're turning to the right. So breath in to lift up tall. And a breath out to turn. And just be aware if that right knee wants to pop out to the side. You're holding it in with your left hand. When you rotate, it's like you're trying to bring your left side ribs and your right thigh closer together. One more breath in. Final breath out to twist. And then gently unwind towards the short edge of your mat again. And then stretch out your legs. We're going to come back to the starting position where we come off the block. Have your feet and knees wide apart. So you need your hands behind you to lean back. And you're going to drop both knees over to the right side this time. So all the way, you can twist your body round with it. Don't try and hold your body back. Turn your body round so you're facing the short edge of your mat. Perfect. And then your right hand on the floor, just outside your right hip. Push down firmly into it. Lean right into it. Let your hips lift up. Stretch your left arm. So the more you press into your right hand, the more you can lift your hips away from your right hand. And the more you reach your left fingers up towards sort of the back of the room, the more stretch you get on the left side. You can even open your left armpit towards the ceiling, turning your chest towards the ceiling. Or keep your chest facing forwards. That's it. So I've got both knees on the floor. If it doesn't suit you, I don't mind if you pick them up. One more big stretch. And then gently think about your right hip lowering down to the floor. Bring your arm down. So this is where we're going to have the block under our hips. You have the option of stretching the right leg out, if that's what you like to do, or keeping it tucked in. But whether it's tucked in or stretched out, the left leg is coming all the way over. And you're going to sit on a block. So I'm going to stretch my leg out for this one. Lovely. Make sure you're sitting tall. Right hand on your left knee to draw it in. Where it would like to drop out to the side, draw it in towards you. Left hand on the floor behind to sit tall. Right toes pointing to the ceiling. Breath in, lifting up. And a breath out to turn to the left. So every breath in, ease the left thigh closer to your right side ribs. And then exhale, turn, look over your left shoulder. One more breath in. Final breath out. Biggest twist. And then gently relax. Bring yourself back around to the front. Stretch your legs out. Maybe give them a shake if they need a shake. And you should be sat on a block or a cushion. We're going to take a forward fold, but today, a little differently, we're going to slide right off the back of it. So bum comes just onto the floor. It's like I'm hanging off behind it. This block is as wedged in as much as I can. And I've got my feet a little bit apart and my knees bent. And hands behind to give you a bit of support. So bum is touching the floor behind. Block or cushion wedged in as much as you can, as tight as you can. So you can feel the block on the back of your thighs. You're going to sit up tall. So you might find that sitting up tall is all you can do. But think about what part of the back of your thighs you can push more firmly down into the block or the pillow. You can move where your feet are on the mat. And you're going to try and lean forwards from there, creeping your hands forwards. So it's a forward fold. I want you to think about pushing the backs of your thighs into the block, and your bum will lift up off the floor, possibly lift up off the floor, as you've just got the weight on the back of your thighs. So that action of pressing the backs of your thighs into whatever support you've got there is what's going to give you the forward fold. You can relax your head and neck. You can keep your hands behind if your centre of gravity doesn't come forwards, that's all fine. But relax your whole upper body, but keep that feeling, stay there, keep that feeling of the backs of your thighs pushing down into the floor, pushing down into your support rather, and your bum lifting up behind. So it's hard to constantly keep a pressure on. So as you breathe in, that's when you're going to really make that action in the backs of your thighs, that pushing down action in the backs of your thighs into your support. And then as you exhale, you remember to relax your upper body. So you can release everything a bit on the exhale. But every inhale, push back down again on your support. And take 3 more breaths there. 3 slow presses down as you breathe in. And then walk your hands, if they've come forwards, back towards your hips. Tuck your chin in. And as you come back up, your bum lowers back down on the floor if it lifted up. Bring yourself very gently back upright. And then remove your block. Lie yourself down on the floor. So we're going into our final relaxation. If you've got your block there and you like it behind the back of your head, you could put it there. Can be quite comfortable to let your back of your neck feel lengthened and your chin tucked in, but head on the floor is good too. Find your comfortable position. Check how your shoulders feel, and if they feel a little bit hunched up towards your ears, one shoulder at a time, just lift it up off the floor as if you could smooth the shoulder blade on that side down towards the back of your waist more, and then once it's tucked under, weight of the shoulder back on the floor and do the other side. Allow the balloon in your tummy to inflate as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. Just the balloon in your tummy. And take your time. Really, the fewer you do, the better. And if you want to change to that pattern of the tummy balloon inflating, holding it inflated, breathe in some more and inflate your ribcage balloon, and then exhale, soften them both together. No effort in your shoulders, your arms, your legs, your face. And a little inquisitive into how long it takes to fill each balloon, what they feel like when they're full, how you know they're full. make this your final complete breath, and then after that breath, natural breathing. Reach your arms beyond your head. Take a good stretch out with your arms. Legs together, push your heels away, pull your toes up towards you. Point your toes away. And then release that whole stretch. Bend your knees, feet onto the mat. Knees onto your chest, hand on each knee so that your hands can move your knees around into a big circle. A big circle to allow that action of your lower back, like it's the floor massaging your lower back. Back the other way. And then come to rest at the centre. Normally we roll to the right, but make sure you know which side you've got space to roll. Commit to go that way and then take your roll over to the side. And gently back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me.